Well, folks, in today's video, we're going to be testing out all the locomotives that David sent me, as well as some of the rolling stock. I'm not entirely sure which of these locomotives run. David did say that he tested them, and apparently some of them sprung to life, although they all need work. The only one I know runs for certain is the Hershey shifter over on the left, and the reason I know that one runs is because it was requested during a live stream, so we put it on the track and it did spring to life. But other than that, I have not tested any of these locomotives. As for the rolling stock, I'm interested to see if it has any features, because as you can see, there are conductive wheels on each of these passenger cars. So I have a hunch that these things are lighted. So we'll find out if they are lighted, and if any of them are, if they work. So we'll see how that goes. And then finally, you guys have really wanted me to take a look at the Chug Chug Sound Baby Ruth boxcar from Tyco. Apparently there's something really kind of peculiar and kind of interesting about this piece, so we're going to take it out of the box and see exactly what's going on there, and kind of go from there, I guess. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so she's all set up on the track. Now let's give her some power there, see if she springs to life. Oh, I heard something there. Give her a bit more power there. Okay, so you can hear the motor is definitely turning over, but it doesn't seem too happy. So I guess this is one of the ones that kind of runs, but it needs work, so that'll be a fun restoration project. Next up are the Tyco Silver Streaks, and I'm so happy to have some of these in my collection. They're just such cool looking locomotives. Now you'll notice there are two of them. I won't be able to run this one, unfortunately, because it's missing its front wheels, but the other one does have its wheels, so we'll be able to test it there. Anyway, let's try giving her some power. And it does not seem to be picking up any power, so this one probably has a problem. These old Tycos, they have a wire which goes from the back truck, and it's pretty notorious for snapping off, so it might be a simple problem. Anyway, those will both be restoration projects for the future. And now we've got this really unique looking Chesapeake and Ohio sea liner. I'm pretty confident that this one's going to run. It's an AHM, and these old AHMs, they're usually kind of loud and a little wobbly, but they're quite reliable in my experience. Yep, we got a runner. Let's give her some power here. Okay, so it's not, well, yeah, there she goes. Let's give this thing a lot of power here. Yeah, this one needs a little bit of work, but it does run. We've even got a working headlight on her. So, we've got a runner. This is just such a cool looking engine. I really like the paint scheme on it. Next up is a Tyco Mantua Santa Fe F unit in the war bonnet paint scheme there. I'm pretty confident that this one might run, simply because these old Tyco Mantuas, they're pretty tough. Anyway, we're giving her some power there. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's not flawless. We've got a working light. It's actually fairly quiet. So not running flawlessly. I really think it probably needs a good wheel cleaning, maybe some fresh oil, but I mean, it's doing it. Okay, if we open up her a little. This thing is got a lot of life in it. These old Tyco Mantuas are tough little engines there. And now I've got this classic Tyco chassis system locomotive. It's a C40 something, I can't remember. Anyways, I'm not sure if this one's going to run. These old Tycos are always a bit of a mixed bag. Oh, you guys see that? We had a bit of current there. The motor's drawing power. Let's give her a little more juice. Yeah. Well, it's kind of running. Yeah, this one's not really doing it. Maybe I spoke too soon. Yeah, this one needs a little bit of work, but another future restoration project. Cool one at that too. Next off is the Tyco Midnight Special Shark Nose. This is a really cool looking locomotive. I really like it. I'm not sure if it's going to run though. It is another regular Tyco. No, it looks to be in okay shape. Is that a light? I thought I saw. Yeah, there's a light. So, yeah, we've got a light. That seems to be about it. It spontaneously feels loose too, like it's not geared in, but then it kind of locks. It's really bizarre. Anyway, another future restoration. This right here is a Tyco Mantua 040 Santa Fe steam engine. I would give this one pretty decent chances of working simply because it's a Tyco Mantua. It might not work very well, but we'll try. I heard something for just a second there. It's not shorting. I guess this one doesn't run. Anyway, that'll be a future project. One thing I would like to point out is you can see there's a traction tire on there. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the same traction tire it left the factory with. It looks very worn out. It's kind of a miracle it's still on there. But this is a cool locomotive, and I'm sure with a bit of work we can get this one running just fine. And last off is the Hershey 040 switcher locomotive. I know this one's kind of spoiled for you guys because I already told you the results of what it did during the live stream, but I'll just show you guys how it works. One thing I'm learning about these little 040s is they're very tough. There's not a lot of moving parts, and as a result there's not a lot of things that can go wrong. They're very, very simple. But that might be their greatest strength. One thing I will point out is this thing has a light in the cabin there. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be, well, I guess it's not supposed to be up front since this doesn't have a headlight. So that's kind of a cool feature. I've never seen a 040 like this that has a cabin light. So it's nice that they thought of that. So this is a cool little engine. I quite like it. Okay, we're now going to see if any of these fancy devils work. So we'll just take this one to start off there. And put it on the track. There we go. I think I'll, oh, there we go. Now. Oh, you guys see that? You got a light. Looks like potentially there might be one on this side too. Yeah, it's a lot dimmer on this side. So there's one. I got the observation car there. And yeah, we got lights on this one too. Look how cool that looks. Yeah, wheels probably need to be kind of cleaned. And put the coach on. Yeah, some works too. Oh, it's sparking a little. So there we go. And then finally the tavern car. I think a guy named Mo works in there. And yeah, that one lights up too. So you got a whole train there. Pretty sure this one's actually, I messed it all up. I'm pretty sure this one's supposed to go there like so. Yeah, why don't we get the locomotive, see if we get the Chief running. Well, it looks like the Santa Fe Super Chief is ready to depart the station. Isn't it a beautiful looking train? I mean, it's just so classic. And one thing I thought of, which is kind of funny, is this train was probably, the model was built not that long after the actual Chief would have been operating around. So that's kind of interesting, because I think these would have been all built in the 60s, and I think the Chief operated until the late 50s, maybe into the 60s, I don't really know to be honest. But that's sort of cool. Anyway, let's run our new train there. Wrong direction. Of course, this one needs a little help there. Yeah, there she goes. What a cool looking train. Wow, look at that. So pretty with all the cars lit up too. Well, that's running pretty well now. I have to say, I'm really impressed with this set. And one detail, it's sort of funny, but I can't help but show you guys. Isn't this cool? They even put a little bar right on the top of the train there. Such a nice detail there. A little light on the back there. What a cool train. Looks like the chief is getting a delivery of Hershey products. Okay, now's the moment you've all been waiting for. And well, I've been waiting for it too, really. Let's see what's in this box. Quite like the coloring on that. That's really cool. I think I see where this is headed. And that's all that's in the box. Anyway, let's take this thing over to the track. Alright, let's put this thing on the track there. I really like how this thing looks. It's so funny. Anyway, we've got it paired up with a kind of classic Tyco locomotive. Now, if this thing works the way I think it works, this is going to be pretty cool. Oh, that's awesome. Guess it would have been better if I picked a steam engine, but... Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, let's bring this thing back. Alright, so that's the chuff chuff sound. As it turns out, this little wheel on the bottom, it rotates around and it has some rocks or something, and I think there's a little beam, and it causes the rocks to reach a certain point, and then they all spill over, and it makes a chuffing noise. It's very creative. Today, if they were to make something like this, they would just do something boring, like put a, I don't know, some sort of like little sound, basic, you know, like a microchip there with a little speaker, something kind of dull, you know, and instead they come up with something kind of creative like this. So, really cool. I quite like that. I think you guys would be pretty disappointed if I didn't run the Chuff Chuff boxcar with Chuff Chuff the 210-2. I had to put this buffer car in between them because the 210-2 has knuckle couplers and this has horn hook. Anyway, let's see if this thing, how it works there with the steam engine. The 210-2 just derailed there, but you guys get the picture. Well, folks, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Just before I finish off the video, I just want to thank David again for sending all this stuff. It really was a lot of fun getting to go through all of it today and see what works and what doesn't work. And as for the stuff that doesn't work, I think it's going to be a lot of fun in the future when we get to open it up and do a bit of troubleshooting. So we'll probably have some restorations up in the not-so-distant future with some of these engines. And that should be good. So anyway, I want to thank you all for watching.